Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dill Comic Book Show. I hope everybody had a big October with Halloween and all the great movies coming out in the movie theaters, and hopefully you've been making that Wednesday trip to your local comic book store and picking up some good comics. Now, on to comic books. I thought October was kind of a light month in comics, and I'm surprised actually we didn't get more horror releases considering the time of year. There were a couple of cool horror anthologies that I thought were interesting, both from Creepshow and the Hello Halloween collection from Boom Studios. I did a short on both, but outside of that, I wasn't particularly impressed with the horror on offer. So this is a bit of a different top 5 this month because there's a lot maybe missing from it that was in the last two that I did the last 2 months. So there are going to be some picks here that maybe these are some books you haven't picked up, and maybe these are some books you haven't even been hearing much about, but they really impressed me in the month of October, and I think they really stood out, and I think they're really worth looking forward to coming into November. So, coming in at number 5 is the end of Jason Aaron's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles run. I have been actually really enjoying the run. I've been thinking Jason Aaron is a guy who was impressive to me, really impressive, on his Thor God of Thunder series. I know everybody knows that Thor God of what is it? Thor God of Thunder? Yeah. Thor God of Thunder, the God Butcher, all that sort of stuff. That incredible Eastside Ribbich art we got in that book. And outside of that, I'm not a gigantic Jason Aaron fan, although I did enjoy that book that he put out with Image recently that was about bugs. But I can't remember what it's called now, but I definitely talked about it and I definitely liked it. Anyway, his run on the Ninja Turtles has been really good, I would say. And the way he's been able to mix like real OG Eastman and Laird Ninja Turtles, and he's been able to expand the world of the Ninja Turtles and bring some interesting characters to the mix and some monsters that we don't see all the time, has been cool and has been refreshing. And while it's kind of like a darker Ninja Turtles, I really like that aspect of it too, that it's, taken seriously. Despite that, we did get a very short run out of Jason Aaron here. I'm sure that's no fault of his. What stands out kind of too is that the first 4 books of the run are solo issues of each of the Ninja Turtles. So you really only got like an 8-issue run of a Jason Aaron Ninja Turtles. And now we're going to a new creative team now that this run ends. Despite that, I thought it was really good, and now that the run is over, the entire Jason Aaron Ninja Turtles is over, you can pick up the whole thing now, heading into the end of the year before the new team takes over the book. Speaking of the new team too, it's gonna be, what's his name, from American Born Chinese. Oh, okay, gonna have a hard time pronouncing this properly. Jean Luen Yang is going to do art on the book. He was doing the Avatar series as well, The Last Airbender. I think that'll be interesting just to see what he does with the Ninja Turtles. But this was a cool run, and this is my number 5 book of the month. So if you're looking for a Ninja Turtles arc to pick up, see what's going on now in the world of the Ninja Turtles, this Jason Aaron run is a cool one. Check it out before the end of the year, and now that it's all over, you can get it all at once. Coming in at number 4 for me, something else that I think is really outside the box and something that I've heard so little talk about is Star Wars Tales from the Nightlands. I talked about this book last month and I was impressed by it then in the first issue, but this second issue is way better than the first one, at least I thought. Just visually, just looking at it, just before you even read this book, you open that first page of this comic and you're blown away by the artwork. Artwork by Vincenzo Riccardi, not a name I immediately recognize, but shout out, by the way, to all the incredible Italian artists working in comics these days. It's like almost every book I pick up has an Italian artist working on it. Are you noticing this? It's unbelievable the amount of art talent coming out of Italy right now. I don't actually know if they're all coming out of Italy or if they all have Italian names or what it is, but killer, best looking Star Wars book I've seen. I don't know when. Like, it might just be the best looking Star Wars book I've seen. On that alone, it really stands out and it really stands up against the first issue. And usually a first issue really sets a tone for a book. You know, we have a kind of idea of where this thing is going and what's it going to look like and what's it going to feel like. But I thought the second issue really elevated things, really took things in another direction. So if you're unfamiliar, Tales from the Nightlands sets up this monster, the Nightlander, right? That it comes to these different characters from the Star Wars universe in dreams and so on, and seems like is going to set up standalone stories throughout the Star Wars universe with different characters. In the first issue, we had young Anakin and Obi-Wan. In this second issue, it's Luke after episode 5. So you have to have some, understanding of the original trilogy and the timeline. And I thought this one was way better. It's like a fever dream. It's nightmarish. Maybe the villain itself, the creature, whatever it is, this wraith, isn't as scary as I kind of wish it was, isn't as powerful maybe as I wish it was. But I thought it was really cool, and I think it's awesome anytime anyone is doing anything pretty interesting, pretty original in a universe as popular and as, samey as the stuff we usually get out of Star Wars, especially now that with the Disney and all that. Don't get me started, right? We'll be here all day talking about Disney and George Lucas and remakes and whatever. Anyways, moving on. Number 4 of my top 5 issues of the month of October has to go to Star Wars Tale from the Nightlands number 2. I thought it was really good. It's an outside pick, I think, and it's one worth checking out. I'm sure, guys, every Wednesday you're going to the comic book store, you're seeing these killer covers on the shelves, and you're like, what is this book? And why is it $6? That's another thing. It's really good. So there's one for you right there. Pick it up. If you're a Star Wars fan, pick it up. There's something new going on in Star Wars, and it's in that book. Number 3 for me, guys, and again, is this the best comic book I've ever read? No. But it's interesting because something original is happening, something different is happening for once. And that book is Spider-Man Noir number 1. I'll tell you what, I am tired of the big 2 in general, okay? I'm not gonna read Age of Revelation. I'm not picking up any of the 10 or 12 X-Men titles. I don't care about the Avengers. But when something kind of unique is going on, when something kind of different is happening, I'll check it out and I'll see. Is this, pandering? Is this simple? Is this fan service? No, this is something a little bit unique. And Spider-Man Noir is that. And the reason for it being kind of unique and kind of interesting and kind of different, and the reason it's in my list, is because Eric Larson is involved in this book. Eric Larson wrote this thing. And if you're unfamiliar with the name, Eric Larson was one of the founding members of Image Comics, and he created Savage Dragon, which is still running from 1993. It's unbelievable that Eric Larson has both drawn and written. He's the only guy ever to have drawn and written Savage Dragon for 30 years now, okay? That's unheard of in American comics almost. Something you might see in Japanese manga, right? Some of these long-running mangas, but in American comics, that's a pretty rare thing to see, that one guy is on a book so long. So, he's this super influential and creative voice in comics going back to the 90s, and I'm like, hey, Eric Larson, Spider-Man Noir, that's an interesting combination, right, of things. I'll check that out. And you know what? It's cool. It's different. It's interesting. It's Spider-Man fighting the Nazis. There's like a typewriter font caption, right? There's references to things that are going on back in these days in the 30s and 40s. Wizard of Oz is referenced. He meets Gwen Stacy. I saw people online kind of complaining like, who is this Spider-Man? Why is he making these quips? What is this? Is this the 616 universe? Is this the Spider-Man from the... I don't care about any of that stuff. I gotta tell you, I don't care about continuity. I don't care. If you have an interesting idea for a character, write an interesting book then. We've seen this guy. Guys, think about it. Spider-Man has been around since 1961? 1962? It's okay. Can't we be creative by now? It's been 60-something years of Spider-Man. Let a guy do something interesting and original for once, okay? I am so disinterested, I gotta tell you, in the sameness oh, this guy can only have this voice. Oh, that guy can only have that personality. Why? Just if you want him to have that personality, read that book then. So anyway, okay, again, I'm grumpy. I don't know. I can't abide the fans and the chatter of personalities and continuity. But anyway, Erik Larson did something interesting on Savage Dragon where he like created a new superhero. It had a new voice. It had a new something, right? It was influenced. It learned from the past, from the greats, from the Jack Kirbys and so on. And it brought something new to comics in the 90s, just as Spawn did, just as Todd McFarlane did with Spawn, right? And others at Image did in those early days. And it's cool that you get a guy like Erik Larson from that school of the 90s, from that originality of the early 90s on a Spider-Man book, because you know he's going to do something a little bit different than what's usually going on in Spider-Man, right? So Spider-Man Noir is something cool. And if you're into those types of characters, and if you do want to see something new happening, Spider-Man Noir is worth picking up. And while the first issue might not be the greatest of all time issues of Spider-Man ever written, it's a cool new direction for a character that usually isn't doing anything cool or new. Okay, so let me put it like that. So number 3 for me, Spider-Man Noir, check it out. Number 2, guys, this is going to surprise people, I think, is IDW's Starship Godzilla. Okay, I can't believe that this is a thing. Like, what? Okay, so hold on a second. You're telling me there's a comic book out there right now about like a ragtag group of vagabonds who ride a spaceship Mecha Godzilla filled with kaiju eggs, searching for other kaijus throughout the universe. It's the best idea for a comic book there is. There's a like an arena set up in this book for fun and hijinks. And again, while it might not be like a literary masterpiece, okay, and we don't get a ton of character and a ton of like story yet in the first issue, there's a setup here for a really cool sci-fi book and for something quite different. You have a female lead that has a really cool look. You have some alien races that you don't generally see, right? There's things that are different here. There's originality in Starship Godzilla. And I know over at IDW, there's this Kai-Sei or Kai-Sai, I don't know how it's pronounced, run of books going on. There's a bunch of Godzilla books happening. And that's cool that there are Godzilla comics. Like, okay, great. I like giant monsters, right? I like giant robots too. I'll check it out. But this is so this is Mecha Godzilla is a spaceship. And there's like a Cowboy Bebop has been used as a reference here a lot. Cowboy Bebop type team riding around inside Mecha Godzilla, which is filled with monster eggs, where they're gonna now go on adventures, daring adventures around the stars. Like, okay, I'm in. You got me. I don't need anything else from this book other than like really cool looking adventures. And speaking of really cool looking, the art is killer on this. Oliver Ono, whose work I actually just talked about in the Halloween Creepshow anthology. I was really impressed by his story in particular because of how cool it looked. Kills on this. The colors are incredible. I could look at this book and look at this book and look at this book. It doesn't even need words, to be honest with you, right? It's one of those. So if you're into like just something original, really original, and that giant monster and giant robot and sci-fi and outer space and adventures sounds cool to you, it definitely sounds cool to you. Pick up Starship Godzilla because that's a cool comic book right there. That's something interesting and that's something original, and that's taking an idea like Godzilla and just doing something totally new with it, something unexpected. And that's what you want to see in comic books, which is a medium where so much is possible because of, it's just a friggin' page with drawings on it. You can do anything. And this is one of those things you can do. So that's pretty cool. So number 2 for me, Starship Godzilla. Number 1 has been number 1 for the last 3 months running. Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum is the best comic book on the shelves right now, okay? I just said it about Spider-Man Noir, how tired I am of the regular superhero comics in general, right? They're just samey. But this is so different from what's usually going on in superhero comics that it just inspires the reader. It's inspiring, it's motivational, it's energetic, it's creative, it's different. It's the team, of course, behind one of the other best comic books on the shelves, Ice Cream Man over at Image Comics, which is horror. It's weird, right? It's like a haunting, it's like a nightmare every issue. This is less nightmarish, more comedic, it's lighter, but Martin Morazzo's art is uncanny enough, right? Is different enough that it's, in its own little way, unsettling. And that's really cool that they took characters like Superman and Batman and Green Lantern and Lex Luthor and Wonder Woman and others and really made them their own and really stripped away so much of what we know about them and yet made them so recognizable in voice and in look and in so many other ways. I think it's a masterful book right now. And though we're only on issue 3, you feel like this is a work right here. This is like one of the books of the decade already in just 3 issues. I really like, it feels long to me when I'm reading it, which is a good thing. I don't mean it in a negative way. It feels like I'm getting a lot of story. I'm getting a lot of work put into the book. I'm getting a lot of interesting character building and directions and creativity. And I'm taken in directions that I don't expect constantly. And I really like that. W. Maxwell Prince, the writer, is maybe the best writer working in comics. He's the best, right? He's the best at taking a reader from a first page where you think you know where this book is going to the last page where you had no idea that's where you would be going. The last page reveal, by the way, in this is the best last page reveal. Like, I'm so glad I stuck around to the last page. I rarely feel that way when I get to the end of a comic book where I'm like, damn, that was good. This is so good. And if you're just at all interested in what's possible in comics, in what's possible when someone really good is working on a book, when someone has the freedom to tell the story that only they can tell, really, you gotta pick up Superman the Kryptonite Spectrum. It's by miles the best comic book on the shelves right now, and it's a guarantee probably for #1 again next month. So if you're not reading it yet, definitely be picking it up. It's the best. I love it. Everybody, I hope we have a better November in comics than we had in October. There wasn't a lot of standout stuff, but there was quite a bit of originality and creativity, at least in my top 5. So if you're looking for some of that in the month of November, you know what to be picking up. You know what should be put on your pull list. I am pretty curious too about what you guys are pulling and what you guys are reading and what I'm not reading that maybe I should be. Is there something that I should check out that would surprise me, that would blow me away? Leave a comment, let me know, because I'm curious. I don't have like a big comic book community here, and I am pretty curious what everybody else is reading and what everybody else is interested in too. So, I've been Dill Comic Books. Leave a like and subscribe, guys, if you've been enjoying the content. And as usual, I'll see you next week.